New gacha games are announced every month, but not all gacha games are created equal. With this in mind, these 14 gacha games are some of the most stunning gacha games that I've seen all year, and I'm excited to bring them to your guys' attention. Not every game here is necessarily going to be good, but they all very much have the potential to be. Do note, I have done dedicated videos for every single one of these games, and I have pre-registration info available on my website, mygachahub.com, so if you want to learn more or participate in future beta tests, you'll find links down below to do so. Now let's jump right in. Let's start this off with Arknights. This is an action game featuring a very interesting top-down isometric perspective. Reminds me a lot of Lost Ark. It has a segregated world, but it allows for you to freely roam and explore at your own leisure. A Chinese release is confirmed at present, but the trailer was released in English, which is evidence that we're likely getting a global release as well. It's unconfirmed when this will be releasing, however. Arknights ENDFIELD is a large-scale open-world anime RPG from the developers of Arknights, the most popular, arguably the most successful tower defense gacha game on the internet. It features a type of tactical action combat, and while relatively open, also doesn't really have the same focus on exploration as Wuwa or Genshin. It's likely that we'll be receiving a full release at some point in late 2025, maybe early 2026, given they've shown a significant amount of progress during their last beta. AZUR PROMILIA is an open-world action anime RPG from Manju, the developers of the popular free-to-play friendly Azure Lane, releasing cross-platform onto PC, PS5, Android, and iOS. It's also arguably the best-looking upcoming gacha game, no joke. It features a fast, fluid action combat system with the option of swapping between 3 different characters, each with their own unique pets, with their own distinct elemental affinities. There's a functional farming or housing or creation system that is present. There is full flight, there are mounts, and so much more, which makes AZUR PROMILIA one of the most innovative new upcoming gacha games in the making. A global release has been confirmed and is speculated to be releasing in 2024, 2025. Black Beacon is an action RPG, however, much like Arknights, it does seem to utilize a top-down isometric perspective. It's a dark, gritty game that seems relatively segregated from what I've seen via the trailers. A global release has not been confirmed at this time, and a release date could realistically be whenever, nobody really knows. Chaos Zero Nightmare is a cosmic loop RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world where the only survivors are forced to flee Earth due to the Chaos Zero project. The game is being developed by Super Creative, the team behind Epic 7. It is confirmed to be releasing onto PC, Android, and iOS. Gameplay will be an amalgamation of roguelike, which are procedurally generated dungeons, turn-based combat, grid-based movement, along with a permanent death feature that is unconfirmed at present what this really means or how this will necessarily function. The game was confirmed to be releasing globally in the second half of 2024. I'm not sure if that's still the case, given they've been kind of quiet in terms of test phases or anything pertaining to a release. DUET Night Abyss is a fantasy adventure RPG with an enormously open, freely explorable world. It features a deep, rich narrative. Players can select one of 2 different protagonists, male and female, with each character having a different personal history. There is a fast, fully functional action combat system present, allowing for multiple weapon loadouts. Having played the last test myself, the combat is admittedly much better than I'd expected it to be, and it also has arguably the best third-person shooter gameplay in the cross-platform genre. It has an open world, but only semi-open world, not as open as games like Wuwa or Genshin, but much more open than a game like Honkai Star Rail. The game will be releasing globally onto PC and mobile. ELPISOUL is a semi-real-time tactical development RPG where the player takes control of an expedition team fighting against the devil. It seems as though the game is a horizontal side-scrolling idle RPG from the gameplay that I've seen, yet it does tend to label itself as a tactical RPG. The goal of the game was to provide players a JRPG-like experience with a deep narrative, turn-based combat system, and a cute, chibi graphical style. A global release has not been confirmed yet, but it is speculated to be releasing at some point in 2024. I think it might have just released or is confirmed to be releasing this month. Before we get into the other half of the games in this list, allow me to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate y'all being there for me. JIUJI QIFENG Journey is a Chinese-themed fantasy game with striking resemblances to Genshin Impact. It is confirmed that there will be numerous factions present in game, each with their own unique aesthetic and focus. The world will be completely open, giving you freedom to explore anywhere you want at your own pace. A combat style hasn't been fully confirmed yet, but they do state that players will use knowledge and strategy to determine the outcome of battles with diverse cards and rich tactics. Global has not been confirmed at present, but it is likely. You can't have a Genshin clone and not release it globally. Mistsequence is a futuristic retro fantasy real-time strategy RPG utilizing a real-time combat system. Both enemies and player-controlled units will move across a grid-based field in real time. The narrative will be told in both 2D and real-time 3D, with 2D models being vertical hand-drawn and 3D allowing them the ability to create beautifully crafted cutscenes. The game will utilize a progression system that's akin to Arknights or Path to Nowhere, with chapters and missions. A global release has not been confirmed yet. NORNIUM is perhaps one of the most degenerate upcoming gacha games that I've seen. It is a sci-fi game. You utilize what are considered droids, and you engage enemies in aerial combat. While the combat does take place completely in the air, it also seems to utilize an action combat system. You can freely aim, you can miss enemies with abilities. NORNIUM is confirmed to be releasing fully cross-platform on both PC and mobile devices. I'm fairly certain this is releasing globally as well. I mean, even if it isn't, Little Stix is definitely willing to play it in Chinese. Project MUGEN is a large open-world anime RPG with an urban fantasy setting. It features a Spider-Man style of grappling exploration, and according to the devs, will use AI generation to populate the world, with alterations made manually after the world is generated. It has a fast action combat system and, well, admittedly, that is really all we know at present. We've literally only seen one single trailer, and they've been pretty quiet ever since releasing that first trailer. It is confirmed, however, to be releasing cross-platform on a PC, PlayStation, and mobile. It is expected some point late 2025, early 2026 globally. Resonant Solstice is a game where players take on the role of a conductor. You drive a train, you engage in battles against enemies. Combat takes the form of a real-time card system with hundreds of different cards and thousands of different card combinations. All characters feature full live 2D animations. You can travel between different cities, each with their own distinct aesthetic look and feel. Currently, the game is only available within China, but a global version is expected when? Who knows? Unending Dawn is an open-world RPG with fantastic character models, a dark, grim open world, enormous boss battles. It has a focus on very fast-paced combat, unforgiving combat. There will be full character swapping mid-battle, fully integrated counters, parries, dodges, boss battles that look like they actually require a semblance of skill for a change. While there is no confirmed release date yet, it is officially releasing onto PC, PS5, and mobile, meaning every major gaming platform is covered. Here's hoping when it releases globally simultaneously on every platform and not like the PS5 months later. XUNJING, also referred to as The Realm in English right now as it doesn't have a definitive name I don't think, is a fantasy-themed open-world adventure shooting game with a high degree of freedom. Players will control a single character during battle with the option of cycling through a grand total of 3 characters at any given time. Combat takes the form of a third-person shooter with grappling, dodging, and a variety of different weapons. A global release has unfortunately not been confirmed, but the game was speculated to be releasing in 2024. That really might not be the case anymore, given we're already in July and have heard absolutely nothing else. And that is everything. Some of these, might end up sucking. Some of them might never release. We see gacha games get canceled all the time after all, and it's become much less of a shock these days. But these are 14 gacha games that could change your life forever, because they'll drain every cent you have and leave you homeless and probably alone. But I mean, at least you'll know that you spent the money well on a waifu that'll realistically never reciprocate the relentless, unadulterated passion or love that you have exhibited.